Well, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely superb to welcome you. It is a beautiful Saturday morning. Delighted to have your company. We are live here for the event at Terra Nova for 2022. This is our bird's eye view, and very good to have you along for today. Dressage is done and dusted, and we bring you 4 international divisions today. It is the 3-star first, the 4-star, the feature class to come second in our lineup. Then it is the 2-star short format. And then the last of our international divisions is the 1-star short. We'll start at 1 to 2 this afternoon here local time in Florida. That is the last of our FEI international classes. Before then we'll flip to the nationals. And 2 to 3 local time is the open intermediate start time. And then the preliminary show jumping will finish up the day 3:20 until just before 4 p.m. this afternoon. This event is new. It is the very hot new topic of the US eventing scene, because this estate, the Herrig family, Hannah Herrig is our president, assisted by mum and dad, Natalie and Steve. It's a huge family effort. And I tell you, after Hurricane Ian, the restoration of this venue has been alarmingly quick. A lot of water. This arena was totally underwater. Only a couple of weeks ago, Hurricane Ian blew through, and of course, the local community was hit heavily. Luckily, Terra Nova as an equestrian centre, it's built a Category 5, the buildings here, so they survived. And of course, they were also bunkers for the families, and the animals here as well all took shelter in the wonderful stables. Because of the huge impact on the local community, the event at Terra Nova is brilliantly donating money to the local hurricane relief efforts. And every volunteer, every hour of every volunteer will be $20 from the Herrig family and the event at Terra Nova with our sponsors here. It's a huge team effort, and they will be donating a huge cumulative sum to the local hurricane relief efforts, which of course is centre of our minds. We've been lucky to run, but others near us have had to really deal with such impact on their lives, their families, their livelihoods, all disrupted. And it's superb. We can run, and the efforts acknowledged that the local community is continuing to have to make is being marked by the $20 per hour. There is about 65 volunteers here this week. It is both eventing and also the CDI dressage, just on the other side of this beautiful new pavilion. It was a Grand Prix last night under lights, and it was really good to watch. And again, those volunteers, if you are free and you're local listening this morning, you will be very welcome later this afternoon or tomorrow for cross-country. Captain Mark Phillips, Mogi Beard and Muller are our 2 designers. Mark's reputation is legendary. Burley was his centrepiece for many, many years, and his course is fascinating. We were out on the track 2 days ago, and it's beautiful. Really nice introduction. Then the questions start coming thick and fast at the riders and horses. It's all very clear, beautifully constructed, as you would expect from the master. That is Mark Phillips. That is all coming up here live from Terra Nova. And delighted to welcome you to the show jumping. The course set by William Robertson. And William's test for this first of our international divisions is the 3-star short format show jumping. This is the second phase. Dressage completed yesterday for the just over 20 strong start field, 22 it was, that came before our ground jury for the 3-star shorts. And I'll give you a little rundown as to the course this morning. Fence number 1 is the Oxer. It's going to be a little right-handed turn away from that. It's ascending. It's at the top end of your picture, middle back of your field of vision. They'll then spin right-handed into a 180-degree turn back to the Terra Nova Equestrian Centre vertical at the second. Then they'll run down 7 strides it is, related distance down to the black-blue Oxer. Come up a little left-handed dogleg turn down to 3. Then quite tight out of the corner is fence 4. That is the multicoloured Oxer. That's right in the centre of the front of your picture. It's square and quite wide. Then comes the first knife back turn. They'll cut back to this musical vertical. Just again, second fence mid-line on your screen. That is black and white. Lovely sort of musical notes theme. The plank in the bottom is a great filler to allow the horse to visualise fence 5. I think important after landing from 5 is to turn into this first of the combinations. The treble comes up early enough, 6A, B and C. I talked to William this morning. You don't want to lose momentum between 5 and 6 ABC, otherwise that could be a bit of a death knell. Got to make sure the engine is running there. He's put 4 poles in the vertical into the treble as a little visual aid to the horses. And 7 metres 80 between vertical to Oxer, A and B. 1 stride, it's quite forward, I think. And then 1 stride after the Oxer down to the vertical at 6C7, 90 metres, so slightly longer, but of course they'll land a little bit further away from the Oxer in the middle. So 1 and 1 through there. Then they'll turn left-handed to the Water Liverpool. That is fence number 7. Lovely card theme on the side. That is the joker, if you like. They've got to be accurate there. The horse's eye will be drawn into the base of that water tray. Then they turn in between fence 1 and the last fence at 11. They'll cut through. Little midway line there to a big wide triple bar at 8. Not too high, but certainly it's a power fence. And then 6 strides, a little right-handed turn back to the spired vertical. Lovely sort of cathedral theme. Its spire juts up on either side of the wings. And that is, again, a little feel exercise, power to accuracy. 6 strides I walked. I didn't walk the line of the riders. I cut a little bit inside. I think they're a little bit running themselves into trouble if they go on their line. They're walking. 6 strides to me is inside. Then they'll turn right-handed back to the last combination. Oxer in, 1 stride. And then a second, it's 11 metres 10 through there, down to 10B, vertical out. And then it's a nice flowing 6 strides down to the final fence. William said if they got into trouble at the combination, they could hold for 7. But I think at this stage, if they're going well, they just chase on down to 11 on 6. 435 metres is the length of the course. And 75 seconds this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is the time allowed for jumping penalties for every fence knockdown or refusal. And 0.4 of a time penalty for every second that is commenced over 75 seconds. Great to have your company, and we'll be underway just momentarily. Our sponsors here, of course, critical to the entire team effort for this second edition of the event at Terra Nova. We have 2 wonderful equine sponsors. Beamer Electromagnetic Energy, they're known as the oldest form of healing energy. They have a stand here, and we talked to Marilyn Payne yesterday for the dressage. Hong Kong Olympic judge back in 08, and Holly and Doug Payne, her children, both top-level eventers. Doug certainly benefits himself from both personal use, and his horse is also using Beamer products. One of our superb equestrian sponsors here at the event at Terra Nova, as are Bimeda. Bimeda brand themselves as the biggest animal health company you've never heard of till now. They have been trusted by veterinarians and owners since the 1960s, where their Irish roots gave spring. The initial product was polyglycan. They've now developed into one of the largest producers of dewormers like Equimax, Bimectin and Exodus, alongside of their patented polyglycan, which is designed to replace lost or damaged synovial fluid out of the joint. Got that problem actually back in my right knee. I've got a Baker's cyst, which is a benign gathering of synovial fluid extra to the joint. And Confidence EQ is a pheromone gel that is designed to reduce and prevent equine stress. Do visit bimedaus.com, BIMEDAUS.com, to see where you can purchase their products. The US flag hovers high in the sky. What a brilliant autumn it has been for the United States of America. Thinking of Protoni, the world, that was brilliant. Team silver. And behind Germany, Germany put it right on the cliff. It was nip and tuck. But first team medal it was for the US since the World Games in Jerez back in 2002, so a 20-year, 2-decade absence. Finally quelled in Italy. Delighted to welcome our trailblazer. We run in number order, so not in relation to their dressage schools. And Ronald Zabala Gertsch, London Olympian of 2012. This, our trailblazer, running aboard Pat's Jester. This horse was produced by the now world #1 Tim Price. Was an autumn for Pricey. Won Buccalo with a young horse, Happy Boy, and then another young horse, 10 years of age, Coup de Coeur Dudevant, stunned the eventing world at Maryland 5-star. First 5-star for the pair and won it. So you know that this horse had a very good jockey producing him. Ronald also rode a horse, in fact, Buck Davidson and I middled Vandermask at the Worlds in Tryon. Horse was from Sharon White. This is one World Championships. He's a seasoned campaigner, seasoned businessman, and his Wise Guy farm is up in Pennsylvania, not far from Plantation Field and Bruce Davidson's superb base. Pat's Jester, shame, late mistake into the last combination, 10A tumbles. Aha, there was another rail. I was waxing lyrical, missed that. It is 2 fences down, 8 jumping, and also 1 time. It was the early mistake at 3, just to give clarification. That was the black-blue oxer. 9 to add for Ronald Zabala Gertsch. It's going to put him on a final score of 47.7 into tomorrow's cross-country. The new starter, 37 years of age, Travis Atkinson, is away. He lay in 8th position overnight. Good test it was from Don Darko. 33.9, so just outside. 4.1 penalties, only behind Leslie Law, the Olympic champion, on top with Castle Howard. Leslie in Athens 04 with the Bettina Hoy scandal. News fed back to him in Solihull in England that he was the new Olympic champion. Extraordinary scenes. Some 18 years ago now. Travis Atkinson faltering out of the treble 6C tumbles. He started riding at 13 years of age on thoroughbreds. Started racing at 14. Continued till he was 21 in the jockey saddle. 7 years hooning around the turf of the USA. He also was a bull rider, 10 years in the bull saddle in the rodeo ring. 2018 was his decisive year to focus solely on eventing. Well, good round it was. Just that. 1 down out of the combination, 6C, comfortably inside the time. In fact, very easy on the clock, 8 seconds to the good of the 75-second time. 4 to add. Travis Atkinson and Don Darko will go into cross-country tomorrow, 37.9. The new starter, this man seasoned, and he returns from his very first World Championships in Pratoni. The beautiful Albany Hills that was sculpted by Giuseppe Della Chiesa, former badminton course designer. Giuseppe, what a test it was in Italy. For the big fixture of this year, he was sadly eliminated. Fernhill wishes for Carl Slezak, but okay. Just getting to the Worlds is a huge feat. His maiden voyage at 5-star was last year. He completed at Maryland again with Fernhill wishes. Carl hails from Toronto. Tottenham, the city. Started in the saddle at 7 years of age, when mum and dad actually moved out of the city to the countryside. And he discovered eventing at 15 years of age. Shortlisted in 04 for Athens. That was with Private Ryan, but again, this course taking its early toll here. That was the Liverpool tumbling. After the combination, 6A, B and C. Maybe there's a little exhalation moment after that early question. And 7 is going to be a little bit of a feature, we will see. So second rail down, like Ronald Zabala Gertschuk. It's going to be inside the time, though, unlike Ronald, our trailblazer. It's going to be 8 to add. Coming home, Carl Slezak and Chevalier will add 8. 37.2 is their final score. They lead at the moment. A long way to go in the first of our international classes here at the event at Terra Nova. If you're just joining us, great to have you along for the ride here. Beautiful late October morning. It's about 18 degrees, there's a light breeze, and we are set fair for a top day of sport. Leslie Law is in town, and he's really striking again. He's the defending champion here. He won last year with Lady Chatterley. He was third last year in this class as well with typically Fernhill. Sarah Kozempic-Murphy was second in behind Leslie Law's podium brace last year at the inaugural event at Terra Nova. There's the lovely Castle Howard for the former Olympic champion, 29.8. His cushion is a bit skinny, shall we say. It's 0.9 of a penalty. He enjoys over Bethany Hutchinson in second. Little rattle for Leslie. Castle Howard is still clear. Castle Howard, Romeo. Double Olympian. It was the gold and the team silver in Athens. It was a team silver in Sydney. Maiden Olympic voyage. And this one, 9 years of age, Irish sport horse. Only the second international start for Leslie Law with this horse. Their debut was fourth at Stable View back 1 month ago in late September. Leslie Law still travelling clear. This horse, nice mix of focus and calm etched on his face as they run down beautifully on those 6 strides to the final fence. And the dressage leader, Leslie Law, will stay in front whatever happens in the 3-star short. 29.8 is the opening clear around William Robertson's show jumping track this morning. Leslie Law will hold on to his dressage advantage, come what may. Well, it's a sluggish start, I'm afraid, for Elisa Wallace. But Elisa has got away with the opener. Sharp decision. Her father, Rick Wallace, an event rider and trainer. Her mother, a horse breeder and young horse trainer. Elisa, though, I'm afraid, boots out for the multicoloured oxen. Initial training was with Nick Larkin, Stephen Bradley, who won Burley. I was there that year. That was brilliant for Stephen. Peter Gray here training Lucien Bellissimo this weekend, double Olympian for Canada. Ralph Hill. Sat with Elisa last night. She's a very cool-headed eventer. Thrives on the adrenaline buzz and cross-country, she told me, and I certainly related. Back to my early days. Don't forget the buzz, that's for certain. Sharp decision, though. We'll not forget the now 2 officers that have fallen. Another fence goes, so it's a costly show jumping round. Sadly, it is going to be 12 penalties to add inside the time. Got away with the opener, but I'm afraid there's going to be 3 fences to add. 12 for Lisa Wallace, and sharp decision. Lisa will move on to 45.6 with a costly Saturday morning show jumping for her, sadly. She was 14th at Burley, 2016. We talked about that last night, and she said that was just quite an extraordinary week for her, with her wonderful order. Simply priceless. The new starter, Samantha Tinney, takes the second fence, the Terra Nova Equestrian Centre vertical. Sadly, she's young, this lady. She's 19 years, 11 months. She'll have her 20th birthday in 1 month, but 1 day will be her birthday. It's yesterday. In 1 month will be her 20th two-decade celebration. Hails from Dallas in Texas. Her father is Terry Tinney. He's a former professional motocross racer and professional mountain biker, so adrenaline runs through the Tinney family. Sadly, second vertical falling. It's 2 and now 7. The Liverpool, as I think we're starting to learn, is going to be influential. Samantha's got another lovely horse we'll see later, Cutty Sark. Caught my eye in the first phase yesterday. But again, like Elisa Wallace, it's going to be 3 fences down in total. Another costly round, I'm afraid, for the young Texan. 46.2 is her score. She'll take out onto cross country. Around the Mogi Bin Muller's 3-star test tomorrow. Start again at about 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll confirm those times for you, the exact start times later. This man yesterday, I said to Marilyn Payne, looked like a dressage rider, such as his elegance and his precision in the first phase, and it's a great start here. Jonathan Holling from the Willow Run Eventing base in Ocala runs that with his wife Jen Holling. What a team they are. John's first business was up in Wisconsin, and he rode in Malmö at the World Cup finals in '06. Stateside, or far Atlantic side, European stateside in Sweden. And a very good Burley completion in '03, 3 years prior. His first Kentucky was the same year with Lion King the second, the horse that put him onto the world eventing map. Jonathan is a very polished, balanced jockey. Just giving this horse a very balanced, calm ride. The consistency of contact, his body balance is absolutely optimal. And yes, Super Round will join Leslie Law as the only 2 to have jumped clear rounds. Super Round. And that is a very good effort, because 31 was the dressage. They lay in 3rd position. They will keep the pressure on the Olympic champion Leslie Law onto cross country tomorrow, because 31 is within 1.2 penalties of Leslie's lead. Super clear round for Jonathan Holling and Juxt My Style S. They remain on 31 penalties. The new starter. We turn to Mexico and delighted to welcome Pedro Gutierrez, the new starter. This is a lovely mare. She was at the Le Lion World Young Horse Breeding Championships back in 2018. 24th position. Le Lion running this very same weekend. Cross country, just rounding out to the 7-year-olds as we speak. Caroline Martin leads 6-year-olds. It's very good overnight. This mare had a very good 8th position. New market in Tennessee, 3-star short in early August, but again, treble catching out another one. This time in rather than out. This mare, she's superbly bred for show jumping, because the downside here, Kalaska de Semi. Anything with a semi in it, you're thinking of Diamond de Semi. Some of the best self-Francais jumping lines with within this mare's genetic profile, but I'm afraid another fence falling late, both parts of the combination, or both combinations catching out. California Male into 6 and out of 10 are the 8 penalties we must add for the Mexican combination. Does mean 46.6 is the completion score for Pedro Gutierrez. The new starter, if you're just joining us, delighted to have your company. This, the second event at Terra Nova. Big things are coming in the future here, that is for certain. A championship golf course is planned. Paul Azinger is a good friend of the father here, Steve Herrig. Paul Azinger, one of the greatest we've ever had in the world of golf, is going to be a consultant for the championship track that is very much in the pipelines in the years to come. Sidney Rivera is on course, sadly. That is another one to hit the Oxer at 4. This is the thoroughbred flatter son. The dam side here is at Pine Bluff. This is Oakdale travelling down to the combination. Pine Bluff of some note as a thoroughbred. He was the grandson of Northern Dancer, the 20th century's most influential sire in the thoroughbred industry. Pine Bluff, who won the Preakness Stakes in '92, netted over $2.25 million in prize money. This horse's mother's father. So though, another Oxer goes and another vertical. So I'm afraid another one to have 12 penalties, like Samantha Tinney and Lisa Wallace. It is again 12 for the 19-year-old Sidney Rivera to add. So 12 to add, and it is going to be 52.4, the score after the show jumping on this bright Saturday morning here. With 20 miles or so inland of Sarasota. It's the golf capital of Florida. Haven't been down there yet, but there's a beautiful beach, Siesta Key, which has got white sand. But if there's a little moment, I will certainly try and head down it. It sounds wonderful. Well, the aforementioned Steve Herrig and this lady are the real protagonists who've driven Terra Nova onto the world, both now dressage and eventing scene. Because Sarah Cosmic-Murphy. Training shows were started. Hannah Herrig, our president. Then Father Steve and this lady started to really create ideas, and that is where Terra Nova's current international status lays down to. Devil Munchkin won this very class last year. Sarah Kozemplick, defending champion, runs back to this musical vertical. Accurate starts from the defending champions. Twin bases, Overlook Farm, Berryville, Virginia, and Mardanza Farms here in Florida. Her first Kentucky 5-star start was with the off-the-track thoroughbred and former Pony Club horse, Sarah As You Like It. Horse that took her to Burley and Badminton, Bramham and Blenheim, the 4 big Bs of British eventing. This is a very positive round here from Devil Munchkin. She lay in 4th place after the first phase, 31.6. That was crisp, wasn't it? Absolutely guns around. She is quick as well. Best part of 7 seconds inside the time. And the defending champions will stay on 31.6. The top of our leaderboard is unchanged with now clear rounds for 3 out of the 4 of our top 4. Still only Bethany Hutchins, Kristen and Gallup HVF of the top 4 to show jump. starter. Tonight's welcome, early stages, this is Jamie McAllister, number 96. Army Ranger is underway. Sadly, I was about to say they need to play a good game of catch-up because they languished a little bit after dressage, down in 19th position. 40.6. I don't like to put any emphasis on it, of course, because dressage is just something that good event horses, if they can't excel, they just have to get through it as best they can and show their colours on cross-country or in this phase. Just 0.1 though behind the rear markers in the dressage. Just thinking they need to play a good game of catch-up, which with that, again, another one to have for the multicoloured oxer is not quite happening. Well, it's going to be another combination to have 3 fences down in this becoming influential. William Robertson, show jumping course, 12 iffies to add. It does mean that Army Ranger will finish on 52.6 after the show jumping. A word about William Robertson, because a great test he's set here. It's really interesting. He is 30 years of age. Hails from Lexington in Kentucky, prime time, horse country. He show jump designs at Twin Rivers at Spokane Sport Horse Park in Washington State out on the West Coast. Also part of 2 very big jumper shows that are Spitz Rock Jumping and Thunderbird as well. It was his childhood obsession to be both an event rider, show jumper, and course designer. He evented to 3-star level and show jumped to 1.30 m, so he's learnt his trade at the coalface as a rider. He stopped though riding competitively 3 years ago at 27. Now a full-time show jump designer. That's his family both in Kentucky still and out in California. And an interesting link actually to our cross-country number 2 course designer Mogi Bearden Muller, because William was a working student for Mogi in years gone by, so strong link between our show jump design team and our cross-country course design team as well. And not to forget that it was in fact Mark Phillips who launched Mogi Bearden Muller on her path as well, where he sourced her at Rebecca Farm. She proclaimed her interest as a designer, and Mark said, okay, let's get you started. And that is, again, another interesting link-up of our entire design teams here. But now, let's focus, because this is the combination that just lie 0.9 of a penalty behind Leslie Law and Castle Howard. Bethany Hutchins, Kristen makes a precise, perfect start. This is Gallup HVF on the start of the course. Lovely round. This is Bethany travels down. It's a very balanced round. That's a beautiful effort. So nice inside the time as well. Beautiful judgment, just 1 second inside, and Bethany Hutchins Kristen will stay with Gallup HVF on 30.7. They'll go into cross country, just 0.9 of a penalty, yapping on the heels of the former Olympic champion. So our top 4 remaining unchanged after the show jumping. Leslie Law leading 29.8. Beth Hutchins, Kristen we've just seen second, 30.7. And Jonathan Holling, that was super smooth from John this morning. Just My Style S is third place on 31. Then comes the defending champion, Sarah Kozumplik and Devil Munchkin, 31.6. And still, 5th and 6th placed Alina Patterson and Carl Slezak still to jump there. 2 horses to give us a completed top 5 picture. The new starter. Some 8 more to come. Sonia Crampton, the Canadian, is away. This is Bon Mahon Flash. Early part of the show jumping. This was the pair that had the 40.7 dressage tied with Ava Wade and Bonaire. So again, would love this super round to continue so they could play catch up. But few ahead of them that have had a cluster of penalties, so a little ascendancy here, a little rise, shoot up the leaderboard is on the cards. Sonia Hales from Ocala in Virginia, though. Bonachon Flash, though, I'm afraid, flattens the vertical out of the combination. He's 11 years of age, the Irish sport horse. And the gelding will have just the one down late at the penultimate for the 4 penalties to add for Sonia Crampton for Canada. 44.7 is her final score at the end of the show jumping for her here at the event at Terra Nova. Well, I caught up with Dana Cook last night as well, and her first voyage to the Worlds in Protoni was down that big slide into nothingness at 7. She said she just trusted Mississippi down there. She didn't quite lock onto the skinny brush, had a run out there, and then again out of the first water, just up the little mound there, that angle brush hanging it was. Again, that was a second glance off. Mississippi did, though, go on to compete in 67th position. Not a dissimilar theme here to the early rider. We saw Travis Atkinson, because Dana Cook was also a rodeo rider as a young lady. Decided at 10 years of age, just shows how early she was in the rodeo saddle. At 10, she decided to dedicate to eventing. She's a keen runner, Dana. She loves being on water as well. Does a lot of skiing and snowboarding at home in Canada when she's having a bit of a winter respite from the heat of the eventing season. Trains extensively with Clayton Fredericks, and Mississippi has just arrived back after quarantine. Albeit Clayton's this week in Ocala. Great to see Ellie Fredericks this morning clear round. Just over time at the World Young Horse Champs. That was a really good effort from Ellie. It is going to be a couple down, and again this last combination, 10 A and B, is causing fair havoc. Just 8 it is, though. Good round from the lovely Harlequin for Dana Cook. Final score for her into cross country is 45.6. Jeff Morgan has given me a little bit of instruction. Not Ava Wade was my get out. It's a little bit more complex. 2 syllables. Ava Veda it is. Apologies, I've been insisting on an audio database for many years, but it hasn't, I'm afraid, left the ground. But any techie listeners, if they want to help us as commentators to revolutionise accurate pronunciation, we need an audio database. Could go alongside the FEI database to help us as commentators to pronounce precisely. It's our bugbear. We have sleepless nights, sweating and trembling as to correctness. No, I don't, but of course we just try, but it's not enough at the... If you want to be a top-level commentator, that is my mission. In any case, it's 2 down for Ava. And Bonaire, they won their very first outing as a new combination. Chat Hills, that was September of last year. They will add 8 penalties this morning here around William Robertson show jumping course. Bonaire will finish on 48.7 to take out onto cross country on Sunday. The new starter, Carl Slezak, is back. Nice to welcome Carl. This is his second ride of this 3-star short. It is Hot Bobo. It's a lovely 9-year-old mare. Enjoyed watching her yesterday in the dressage. This pair started back in 2019. First outing was in the horse park in Kentucky. Had a very good win at the same venue 1 month later. Sorry, 1 year later it was. October 2020. That was their maiden and first international win so far. Hot Bobo, though, is not out of this at all this weekend. She lies in 6th position, 31.9, within just 2.1 penalties of our leading score of Leslie Law. It's a good start. This mare, we can see in the dressage, just easy-minded, forward-thinking. And that is, again, the theme in the show jump. It's just a lovely little mare. She's got something of Fisher Rokana about this mare to me, who won the individual silver in behind Zandra Ofart, the Worlds in Normandy back in 2014. Similar sort of a little mare. Rokana wasn't a great show jumper, to be absolutely honest, and Hot Bobo looks a very good one. Of course, Mikael Young can get a donkey round clear, but it's a very nice round for Carl Slezak. He will stay on 31.9. It's going to be 5th or 6th, depending on what Alina Patterson and Flashback do, just ahead of them after the dressage. The new starter, Hayley Curry, is up and jumping. Hayley is out on the course. This is Belmont Do Kahim. Dressage was good enough. They lay in 15th position. Round score of 40 precisely. And 10.2 penalties behind the former Olympic champion. It's a good start here. Belmont Do Kahim now turns this important turn, and she does what I think you have to. Just runs through that with a little bit of pace, not to have a loss of energy through the treble. Exactly my thinking that we saw Hayley activating. This horse covers the ground beautifully. We'll have no problem on the time. And again, did a good job there, William Robertson, on a little pre-course interview discussion. Said there, you've got to just improvise between 8 and 9. Power, a little delicate vertical. Shame just flattens out of the combination. Otherwise, a very good round and a double hit, I'm afraid, in the final line. It was a good round. And Hayley Curry well pleased. But could have been a clear round. I'm not quite sure. Maybe just had to hold him a little bit firm in the hand down the line just to support him. But a really good effort. 8 penalties it is to add, and Belmonte de Cajim will finish on 48 with a couple of rails. The new starter makes a purposeful, decisive-looking start. She needs a clear here to stay with the surrounding pack of all jump clear rounds. She lies up in a very handy 5th position, 31.8, exactly 2 behind Leslie Law and Castle Howard Romeo. Clear round here would mean that all of the top 6 have jump clear rounds to stay on their dressage scores. This horse is having fun out there. They had a very good spring last year. They won Galway Downs, Robert Callahouse's Californian competition 3-star short. And then, following competition, of weeks later, they won Twin Rivers 3-star long, so that is their class. This horse, we said, Marilyn Payne and I, this could be a horse for Grand Prix, not Grand Prix dressage perhaps, but he's got the ground skills for certainly advanced medium or something like that, but who knows? The movement's there, the balance is there, and it is again just the one sting out of the combination on the run for home. That is the 4 penalties for Alina Patterson. So 5 out of the top 6 jump are clear, but the supporters of Alina Patterson delighted. 36.8, she'll drop down in behind Carl Slezak. Carl who will move up into 5th position. The Canadian with Hot Bobo, the lovely 9-year-old mare, will benefit. Well, just a couple more to come. And this is an absolutely stunning Dutch horse. This was one of my favourite horses yesterday. Cutty Stark. It is Samantha Tinney on course. He's Dutch bred, and just judging by his canter, he's going to jump an easy round, I think. World champion in Tryon. So sad to lose All-Star B from eventing. That's not so long ago for Ross Canter. He was a Dutch horse as well that took the world title clear of poor Drake McCarthy and Mr. Chunky. And Ingrid Klimke went down to the very final fence, and Ingrid had it down sadly with SAP Hale Bob Hate to remind her, but it was a cruel late blow. Cutty Sark is just losing class out there. Is pricked little rattle behind at the Liverpool. But of course, just bear in mind that this show jumping held before cross country should have less influence than if it was after cross country naturally, with fresher legs. But sadly, 9 is the first error for Cutty Sark and Samantha Tinney. Well, good enough round. It's going to have also 1 time penalty. Cutty Sark will add 5. It will put Samantha Tinney on to 45.2 at the close of show jumping. But I'm looking forward to seeing that pair across country yesterday. It's a lovely horse, Cutty Sark. Exits with 1 more to come, is my expectation. In fact, it should be just 2. It will be 2 more to come. And a quick moment to mention our superb sponsors here. For nearly 20 years, Engler Window and Doors have been a great service to the community, offering personal service and a choice of high-end windows and doors, serving architects, builders, designers and homeowners. Engler is the exclusive dealer in Southwest Florida for Lewin Windows, the leading brand for style and quality. Acumen is a national law firm with 24 offices throughout the US, including 9 offices located in every major urban centre in the state of Florida. They have more than 700 lawyers and consultants who serve businesses and families across the country. And they have developed an unparalleled track record in high-stakes litigation, M&A, merger and acquisition transactions, and transformative real estate developments. They infuse startup agility with over a century of enterprise stability. Acumen meets changing client needs while adapting to market disruptions. To learn more and stay updated on how current events impact your business, please visit acumen.com, AKERMAN.com. Kirkring Barberio is the largest independent accounting firm on the Gulf Coast of Florida, and they serve the local community, well, they have served the local community for some 50 years. They work with thousands of individuals and business clients throughout Florida and internationally. And along with traditional tax and audit services, they focus on several niches, including outsourced accounting, estate and trust planning, healthcare advisory, and international tax consultancy. Great portfolio it is of sponsors here for the second event at Terra Nova in this beautiful region. We're just north of the Miyaka State River Park, just inland of the Gulf of Mexico, the beautiful Sarasota coastline. The new starters, Madeline Scott for Canada is out on the course of William Robertson. Not a cloud in the sky, it's a beautiful Saturday morning. The Canadian pair have, no, in fact, it is not Madeline Scott. Apologies there, I was just muddled for a minute, but in fact, this is a very talented rider as well. It is Kira Kenny on the early part of the course. Very well down for this. FE Black Ice is the new starter. Kira Kenny, just 16 years of age. She's an Area 2 young rider. It's her second international eventing season only. She adds a second out of the combination. This horse produced by Maya Black. Maya, who with FE Black Ice won their last three-star outing together in Plantation, at Plantation, prior to the sale to Kira Kenny. It is going to be two fences to add for the young guns for the USA. 8 to add, and the FE Black Ice will go forward to cross country on 42.7. Well, this is now Madeline Scott's house from Chase in British Columbia. Little rattle at the first, but we are still travelling down towards 4 with a 0 score. Crosby's Gold is on the course. Number 107. This beautiful little Canadian thoroughbred. Well, actually little at all. Certainly his back end is powerful. Doesn't look like a particularly tall stamp of horse, but that back engine is mighty. Came quickly through 6A BC, but clear of it. Now this pair, we noted in the dressage, have had a really tough run the last year. They haven't completed a competition since late September of last year. The last completion was Lexington, Virginia, late May of 2021, 14th position, and since then it's been a struggle. So now a clear show jumping here would set them in a much more positive mode of action into cross country tomorrow. Okay, it's going to be a late mistake, but good round enough for Madeline Scott and Crosby's Gold. Inside time, and we'll add the one down late. Let's hope this pair can have a volte face of their fortunes on the courses tomorrow out on cross country. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the last home, and it is 4 to add for Crosby's Gold and Madeline Scott, the Canadian anchors. They will carry 44.4 out onto cross country as the last of the three-star short format here, second edition of the event at Terra Nova. It's my first time here, and it is simply impressive. The venue has snowballed in terms of developments. New pavilion here with satin has come up since last year. It was just sprung out of the Florida sand. It's incredible what the Herrick family here have done to this beautiful venue. Big things to come, as we've said, in the future as well. And the three-star short completed. We will be back at 11:37 with the feature class, that is the 4-star short. But this is the position. Super clear rounds, 5 clears so far. Jonathan Holling, Carl Slezak, the dressage leader Leslie Law, Sarah Kazumplik, and Bethany Hutchins-Kristen all jump great clear rounds. So we can tell you The combined scores, it is Leslie Law who will lead out into cross-country. That is Castle Howard and Romeo. Clear round 29.8 for the former Olympic champion. He will lead by 0.9 of a penalty. Second for the USA, Britain in pole position. Bethany Hutchins, Kristen second with Gallup HVF. They jumped a great clear for 30.7. Just 0.3 behind in third place is Jonathan Holling. That is a beautiful horse, just to my style S. And then we go down to Sarah Kozumplik, the defending champion. Still in the mix here, 31.6 is her score. And Carl Slezak has moved up into fifth position because of the penalties for Alina Patterson and Flashback. Carl Slezak is fifth with Hot Bobo on 31.9 after the show jumping the second phase has completed. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is a short break here from the action. We have an intermission of just over 30 minutes. We'll be back at about 11:32 local time here in Florida for the start of the four-star short format show jumping. It's a real pleasure to bring you the action from Terra Nova, and a short goodbye from myself, Ed Holloway, the entire team here. We will see you soon. Thank you for watching.